In this video, we come back to Photoshop and we will learn how to save a path. So we already know how to save a custom shape, but we haven't talked about how to save a path. We haven't used really paths so far. We only use the shape drawing mode with the pen tool here in Photoshop, but you will see how useful it is to also create paths and work with them. So let me just show you how to save one. I am going to just simply create a triangle. Okay, and select it. And to be able to see this path, because it's not visible in the layers panel, we have to go to the path panel. And here it will show it as a work path. If I double click on this, I can call it triangle. And then it will be a path. It's almost like a layer, a saved path. If I use the pen tool now again, I can start drawing. Let me just draw something else. I'm going to draw like a diamond shape or something like that. And as you can see, this is in the triangle path. Now, this is something I didn't want to do. I wanted to have it in a separate path. So I'm going to press backspace. And before I start drawing it, I'm going to create a new path. I click here, create a new one. Just like with layers, I have a new path. So I can use the pen tool and I can draw something else. I can just draw this shape. Okay. If I double click on path 1, I can rename it and call it diamond. So now we have two paths. And if I want to select the triangle, I just need to select it from here. So it's there. And if I want to select the diamond, it's there. So we can save a lot of paths into a file, and it can even be saved into a JPEG file, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a PSD file. And then these paths can be used for many different things. For example, they can be used to fill in a shape. So for example, if I have a separate empty layer and I have this path selected, I can right click on it and I can do many different things from it. I can create a vector mask, I can define a custom shape, make a selection, fill this path, stroke this path, create a clipping path from it, or I can transform this path, and I can even convert the path to extrusion, which means it can be turned into a 3D object. Again, something I will talk about in more details in another video. So let's just choose now probably stroke path. Click on stroke path. I select brush and I am going to click on OK. The only problem is that we had white color as the foreground color. So I just switch to black color and I use the same option again. Stroke path with brush and I click on OK. And as you can see now on our layer, we have this black line. So completely separate from the path, I can move it around and I can work with it. So I just created a pixel layer drawing from a path. So it's just something that again is a bit more advanced, but we are going to use this feature in Photoshop when we have the path separate from the layers. Whenever you draw with the shape option, you always create a shape layer. So let me just show you. If I have a shape, it's called shape layer. While this one is completely independent from the path, I can even delete this one, but still have the diamond path and the triangle path. And if they are not selected, they look like they are invisible. So as if they are not even there. And one more important thing is how to edit paths. I have this shape and I just delete it. I go back to the path and select like this diamond shape. Remember, with the direct selection tool and path selection tool, you can always adjust the path. So direct selection tool means you can select any of the points separately, and you can even click and select more with a lasso selection. With the path selection tool, you can only move the whole path together. And then you have the edit free transform path option, with which you can stretch and rotate and even perspective transform a path by holding down Command or Control on PC. So this can make it look like three-dimensional almost, the shape. If I press enter, I can accept this transformation. You can even select partially paths and use the free transform path option, Command T or Control T, which you can press on the keyboard. And as you can see, I can transform only the specific part of my path. So it's again something that you can play around with, and you can again rotate these 2 points around. So there's many ways to transform and edit a path that you already created. Now that we know a lot about creating paths, saving them, transforming and combining them, in the next video we are going to draw a much more complicated illustration, and I'm going to show you that in Illustrator.